It was 1962. Under the cover of darkness on a foggy summer night, Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary loomed silent in the San Francisco Bay.
How are you going to train? You can't train to swim, and then you're going to just swim for a mile and a half?
Yeah.
You're not going to make it.
Inside, 3 desperate men were finalizing an audacious escape plan. Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin had spent months carving through the concrete walls of their cells with sharpened spoons. Once the holes were wide enough, they squeezed into the ventilation shafts and climbed into a secret space above their cells. And that was the beginning of the mystery.
It was a legendary escape from a place that was supposed to be inescapable. 55 years ago this month, 3 men pulled off the impossible, breaking out of Alcatraz.
Where did the escape happen? The escape took place at Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, a high-security prison on Alcatraz Island in the middle of San Francisco Bay. The prison was surrounded by cold water, strong ocean currents, and dangerous waves. Alcatraz was built to be escape-proof. People believed that no one could ever get off the island alive. Alcatraz held some of the most dangerous criminals in America. It was opened from 1934 to 1963. The most famous escape attempt happened on the night of June 11, 1962. 3 men escaped that night. Their names were Frank Morris, John, and Clarence Anglin. They were brothers. These men were smart and careful. They spent months planning the escape. First, they used spoons, forks, and drills made from vacuum cleaner parts to dig small holes in the walls at the back of their prison cells. The walls were soft because of old, crumbling concrete. Behind the holes, there was an unused utility corridor, a hidden area full of pipes and wires. They covered the holes with cardboard and paint so the guards wouldn't see what they were doing. To buy themselves more time, they made fake heads out of soap, toilet paper, and hair from the prison barber shop. These fake heads looked like real sleeping prisoners. On the night of the escape, they put the fake heads on their pillows to fool the guards doing night checks. The plan worked. When the guards looked into their cells during the night, they thought the prisoners were still there, asleep. After crawling through the holes in their cells, the men climbed up a utility corridor to reach the prison roof. From there, they crossed the roof, slid down a pipe, and made it to the ground. They had to sneak across the prison yard without being seen. Then came the hardest part, getting off the island.
How far is it, Jamie? Mile and a half. So a mile and a half in the ocean with sharks.
The 3 men built a homemade raft out of more than 50 rubber raincoats. They also made life vests using the same materials. They glued and stitched the raincoats together to make them waterproof. Once they reached the edge of the island, they inflated the raft asterisk and pushed it into the dark, cold water. That was the last time anyone officially saw them. So, why did people think they died? The water around Alcatraz is very cold, about 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 to 13 degrees Celsius. The currents are strong and could easily pull swimmers away from the shore. The men had to paddle more than a mile through dark, choppy water to reach the land. Within hours, the prison realized they were gone. A huge search began, by air, by sea, and on land. But no bodies were ever found, and no one reported seeing them arrive on shore. Because of the cold water, strong tides, and dangerous conditions, the FBI believed the men had drowned before reaching land. The raft was later found on a nearby island, and a few personal items, like photos and life jackets, were also found in the bay. These items made the FBI think the men didn't make it. In 1979, after 17 years, The FBI closed the case and said the men had most likely died during the escape. But not everyone agreed. Many people didn't believe the men had drowned.
It's very plausible that they made landfall.
The Anglin family, in particular, believed John and Clarence survived. Over the years, they said they received letters, phone calls, and even flowers from the brothers. The mother of the Anglin brothers got Mother's Day cards every year, always unsigned, but she believed they were from her sons. Later, in 2015, a photo was found that might show the brothers in Brazil, alive, 13 years after the escape. Then, in 2022, a computer study using facial recognition said there was a 99.7% chance that the man in the photo was John Anglin. This made people believe that maybe, just maybe, they did survive. 2015 breakthrough. In October 2015, a History Channel special unveiled startling new clues. Family members publicly released Christmas cards addressed to John and Clarence years after 1962, along with a 1975 photograph of two men on a Brazilian farm. The image, taken 13 years after the escape, appeared to show John and Clarence Anglin alive on a remote ranch. In 2015, over half a century after the daring Alcatraz escape, a stunning revelation aired on national television. The History Channel released a special titled, Alcatraz, Search for the Truth, and it did just that. For the first time, the Anglin family broke decades of silence, revealing photographs, letters, and stories that would shake the foundations of the FBI's long-standing narrative.
So what do you think? Is this John and Clarence Anglin? There's a poll on 11alive.com, just looking under the Alcatraz story. Most of you say yes, this is them. But even if it is the Anglin brothers, this photo is decades old.
The photo had reportedly been handed over to family friend Fred Britzi, a known drug smuggler who said he had encountered the brothers in Brazil while on a run. He claimed to have spoken with them and taken the photo as proof of their survival. For years, it was tucked away in family archives until the History Channel brought it to light. But that wasn't all. The Anglin family also revealed Christmas cards, several of them sent to their mother after 1962. The handwriting matched, and though none had return addresses, the postmarks were real. One even came a full 3 years after the supposed drowning. According to the family, their mother believed her boys had made it, and even told others she knew they were alive.
My grandmother received roses for several years after the escape.
Following the explosive revelations aired by the History Channel in 2015, the U.S. Marshals Service, the only federal agency still technically tracking the escapees, found itself thrust back into the center of the case. Though the FBI had officially closed its investigation in 1979, the Marshals never gave up jurisdiction. And now, with new photographic and written evidence suggesting John and Clarence Anglin had not only survived but had been spotted in South America, retired and active marshals alike were forced to reconsider everything they thought they knew. Leading the renewed scrutiny was Art Roderick, a retired deputy U.S. Marshal who had spent years digging into the Alcatraz mystery. Roderick publicly stated that the 1975 Brazil photo and the Christmas cards were among the most credible leads ever received. He even traveled to Brazil alongside a documentary crew, hoping to find the exact farm where the photo was said to have been taken. The team interviewed locals, examined the landscape, and tried to track Britzi's known movements, all in hopes of proving whether the photo had roots in reality. Roderick emphasized that the U.S. Marshals didn't treat the new claims lightly. Each piece of evidence had to be forensically vetted. The handwriting on the cards was analyzed by experts. the photo underwent facial comparison tests. For the first time in decades, the idea that the Anglins could have lived, and perhaps still be living, was treated not as rumor, but as possibility. While the search in Brazil yielded no definitive confirmation, it kept the investigation alive. The marshals refused to close the case. As of 2025, the Alcatraz escape remains technically open, but after 2015, it was clear the marshals weren't just chasing ghosts. They were following a trail that for the first time looked real, hoping they would one day uncover the full truth. And indeed, they finally uncovered the truth after the case reopened the second time in 2022. 2022 breakthrough. In 2022, the decades-old Alcatraz mystery collided with 21st century technology, and the results were astonishing. A team of investigators and AI researchers from Ireland took a fresh look at the most compelling piece of post-escape evidence, the 1975 photograph allegedly showing the Anglin brothers alive on a Brazilian farm. While the photo had intrigued law enforcement and the public since 2015, it was still too blurry and dated for traditional analysis to deliver a verdict. That's when artificial intelligence entered the scene. Using advanced deep learning facial recognition technology, the team fed the algorithm with a trove of archival images of John and Clarence Anglin. Prison mugshots, childhood photos, family snapshots, spanning various ages. The AI system, designed to mimic the way human facial recognition works but with exponentially more precision, learned to identify key markers in the Anglins' faces: the spacing of the eyes, nose angles, bone structure, and dozens of biometric signatures nearly invisible to the naked eye. Once trained, the system analyzed the mysterious 1975 photo. It scanned the faces pixel by pixel and cross-referenced them with the Anglin database. The result? A staggering 99.7% match with John Anglin. To put it bluntly, the AI concluded with near certainty that the man in the photo was one of the escapees, over a decade after he was presumed dead. This wasn't just a strong suggestion, it was scientific support for what had long been dismissed as legend. Ken Widner, the Anglin brothers' nephew, called the result the closest we've ever gotten to proof. In early May 2025, President Donald Trump proposed reopening and rebuilding Alcatraz to house what he described as America's most ruthless and violent offenders. This proposal has reignited public fascination with the prison's history, particularly the infamous 1962 escape by Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin. While the prison is undergoing a $48.6 million renovation focused on preservation, transforming it into an operational facility would require extensive rebuilding due to outdated infrastructure. The proposal has sparked debates about the feasibility and implications of such a move, but as of now, no concrete plans have been implemented. The enduring mystery of the 1962 escape continues to captivate the public imagination, especially amid discussions about Alcatraz's potential future. Thanks for watching. While still here, feel free to click the video on your screen, and don't forget to like and subscribe.